Alright ladies and gentlemen, Blizzard has just released the PTR for Phase 4 for Season of Discovery. There's plenty of class changes, so I thought we'd have a little look see what they've got. First up, the Warrior. There's a new ability here called Intimidating Yodel. Warriors can now unleash a deafening yodel that causes enemies to flee in terror for 3 seconds. However, this also has a 50% chance to cause all nearby friendly NPCs to faint. It's unusual. And I've got a second one here called Titan's Slippers. Equip a pair of giant fuzzy slippers that increases movement speed by 100%, but only when running away from combat. Reduces your threat generation by 200%. Looking here like there's 2 per class. Right, onto the mage. Conjure Sandwich. Tired of bread, mages can now conjure delicious sandwiches for their allies. These sandwiches grant a buff that increases crit chance by 10%. But also a debuff called Food Coma that reduces movement speed by 50%. Another one called Frosty Slap. Instead of casting Frostball, mages can now opt to slap their enemies with an icy hand, causing minimal damage but maximum embarrassment. So a bit like Nate Diaz's Stockton Slap. Right, Druid. Catnap form. Druids can now shift into a catnap form, where they regenerate health at an increased rate, but are completely immobile and vulnerable to being picked up and petted by friendly players. Ooh. Tree of Gossip. While in tree form, druids can now spread hilarious rumours about enemy players, causing confusion, and a debuff that reduces their concentration, decreasing their casting speed by 25%. Another unusual one. Onto the Rogue. Backstab Banana. Replace your daggers with bananas for an extra slippery backstab that causes the target to slip and fall and stunning them for 2 seconds, causing nearby enemies to laugh uncontrollably, reducing their defense. Smoke Bomb Disco. When using Smoke Bomb, instead of a cloud of smoke, a disco ball descends and funky music starts playing, causing all players within the range to start dancing, unable to attack or cast spells for 5 seconds. Onto the Paladin. Divine Selfie. Paladins can now take a Divine Selfie, restoring all health and mana, but also causing them to be stuck in place posing for 10 seconds. The second one, this is an odd one. Bubble Bath. When casting Divine Shield, Paladins are now encased in a giant bubble filled with soapy water, making them immune to all damage, but also reducing their vision and causing them to slide around uncontrollably. Hunter. Petting Zoo. Hunter can now summon a random assortment of cute non-combat pets that distract enemies with their adorableness, reducing their hit chance by 25%. Feathered Fletching. Owls are now replaced with colourful feathers that tickle the target, causing them to laugh and become disorientated, reducing their attack power by 50%. Onto the Priest. Holy Karaoke. Priests can now heal their allies by singing karaoke. The effectiveness of the healing depends on how well they sing, with off-key notes causing minor damage to everyone nearby. Shadow Puppetry. Instead of casting Shadow Fiend, priests can now cast a Shadow Puppet. A Shadow Puppet show, should I say, that mesmerizes enemies, causing them to stand still and watch in awe for 6 seconds. Shaman. Totem Pole Dance. Shamans can now perform a traditional totem pole dance, causing their totems to come to life and dance around, providing a random buff to all nearby allies, but also making them extremely dizzy. Thunderous Fart. Shamans can now release a thunderous fart that causes lightning to strike nearby enemies, dealing nature damage and causing them to back away in disgust. And last but not least, the Warlock. Demonic Karaoke. Similar to the priests, warlocks can now summon their demons through karaoke performances. The success of the summoning depends on the quality of the performance, with off-key notes summoning weaker demons. Curse of the Itch. Warlocks can now cast a curse that causes enemies to have an uncontrollable itch, reducing their hit chance and causing them to scratch themselves incessantly. Well, that's the end of that video. That's a rather unusual set of abilities, but I suppose it is Season of Discovery. So we'll see how that goes. See you all in Season of Discovery.